Took it straight to Clayton County this morning, where multiple people are dead, including a police officer, and several others are hurt.
We have team coverage for you. Karis Belger is live outside Grady Hospital. She has the latest on the victims' conditions, including a 12-year-old boy. But we start with Mara Sirianni.
Mara, you've been out there all morning there in Clayton County on the scene where this all unfolded in Rex. It was devastating. What do we know so far about how this all unfolded?
Incredibly devastating, guys. It was just tragedy in this neighborhood. Officers are still here on scene, and we've learned from Clayton County Police that as those officers actually approached the home they were called to, they were met with a barrage of gunfire. It was all captured on this Ring doorbell video. Take a listen. And just into the newsroom, Sheriff Victor Hill posting these photos of field training officer Henry Laxon. He was killed last night in the line of duty as that suspect opened fire. Hill says Laxon was one of the finest law enforcement officers in the county, calling him, quote, the ideal police officer. This incident all began around 8:30 last night as Clayton County Police responded to the home here along Jervis Court in Rex. Police Chief Kevin Roberts says officers received multiple calls of gunfire. As you heard, domestic violence and people shot. The first officers on scene were met by a 12-year-old boy who had been shot. He's actually the one who led officers to the home where they found a woman lying in the front yard. She had been shot and killed. Officers then were met by the suspect at the front door. He opened fire on them before running to the back of the home. There, that suspect was met by tactical officers who engaged in a shootout. Officer Laxon was killed. Officer Alex Chandler was shot in the hand. The suspect was also shot and killed.
Definitely emotional. These men and women do an honorable job every day, and it's unfortunate that we have to make these reports time and time again. My heart aches for every police officer and their family that goes through these type of things, and these things just shouldn't happen.
So incredibly devastating and emotional night here. A hard time, of course, too, for the entire Clayton County Police Department and law enforcement family here in Clayton County and across the state as they learn of this tragedy. Chief Roberts says he has spoken with the officers' families, and this is a lot to unpack here. Officers say they also found a second woman dead when they got to the scene at the home here. They believe the suspect had shot and killed that woman, both women actually, before they even arrived.
Mara, devastating for the law enforcement community and for the community where this happened and where this 12-year-old boy lives.
And now let's bring in Karis Belger this morning. She has more information on how the other victims are doing. Karis, you are live from Grady out there. What are you learning about these updates on these conditions?
Well, good morning. Well, we do know that Officer Laxon was killed when police were called to the scene and engaged with that suspect. The suspect also dead this morning. And we also know that another officer was shot in the hand. That injury is not considered life-threatening, but what is really top of mind now is that 12-year-old child. He was shot in the face and he is now in critical condition. But after he was shot, he did lead officers to the scene, but now he is fighting for his life.
Patrol officers were actually met by a 12-year-old juvenile who had been shot in the face. He was able to lead them to the residence.
Now, as for the other two women who were found dead at the scene, we do not know much about them or their identities. We know police officers are trying to contact their families, and hopefully we will know more about them once that has taken place. But again, that 12-year-old child in critical condition after being shot, last evening.
All right, Karis, thank you. This story has so many layers to it and so many people and families that will be impacted for the days, months, and years to come. Karis, thank you so much. Of course, this story is still developing, and we are staying on top of things as they come into the newsroom. You can always head to 11alive.com where we will keep you updated.